We alive, Bay State running. We're taking a tour around the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and we are interviewing the senior class, a very, very special senior class. I'm pit stopping this morning in Arlington, Massachusetts, actually Arlington Catholic. And usually I've done teams that have had, large team, a large participation in the school, but today we're going to focus on a particular athlete because he deserves his just due. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm standing with the 2019 the Division II cross-country all-state champion, taking his talents to Yale University. My main man, Sean K. What's going on?
Good, how are you?
Sean, I was excited, obviously, because I get to see you again. But I want to go behind the scenes with our audience here at Bay State Running, because you have had your shares of your highs and your lows, and especially 2019, the cross-country season. You didn't start the season off healthy, correct? You were injured. So let's segue to the fall 2019, this past season, and you were not healthy, right?
Yeah. So starting off the season, I was coming off an injury from spring track, and so I didn't get a lot of training in the summer, and so I went to a camp at the end of the fall, and then I think I just put too many miles on too fast, and so I ended up having a stress fracture in my foot. And so I was in a boot for about 4 to 5 weeks to the end of the season. So that was brutal. But I didn't start racing until around Catholic Memorial, so around October was my first race. But yeah, the first August, September, I had no training. I was just in the pool on the bike pretty much the entire time. But luckily I was able to bounce back from that. But yeah, rough start to the season.
I mean, Sean, the bounce back was a state championship. That's a serious talk about adversity, talking about perseverance. And I believe that your story should be told because a lot of kids may, unfortunately because of our sport, it's rigorous and it does come with injuries sometimes, right? So I think I wanted kids to know that it wasn't always a smooth sail for you, right? And it was your senior year. You want to talk about your first race with CMI. So it was basically Catholic Memorial invite you a month away from the state meet. And then you come back and you put on a performance. So I just want to say to you, Sean, when I saw that all-state meet, and I saw you on the straightaway, you're running mechanics, you were standing tall and you was just pushing. That was a very proud moment for me. I was like, this guy is a gladiator. And Yale is seriously about to get a steal. Yes, and it does bother me that I won't be able to see you go sub 420 in high school, even though there's more to go. You could have ran a faster 2 mile because of, the outdoor season is canceled, but I don't think that's going to hinder your grind. You're a very talented individual. A man with your talent, you're taking it to the Ivy Leagues. Why Yale?
Yeah, so I knew I wanted to go somewhere that was academically really challenging. So I was really leaning towards an Ivy League school, and so I visited Yale, Dartmouth, and Columbia for the Ivies, and they were all in the extreme. Columbia's in the city, and then Dartmouth is way up high. Not a lot of city, nothing up there much. But Yale was kind of the sweet spot where it had both things. And also, I knew, I wanted to contribute right away. So my freshman year, I said, hey, I want to be part of that conference squad. And so I thought, if I have a really good summer, I can do that almost anywhere. But Yale, I think I can definitely make an impact right away. And that's what I wanted to do. I didn't want to be a small fish in a big pond, but also didn't want to be a big fish in a small pond. I felt like Yale was the right spot for me where I could, excel, be the best one I could be. Also, being part of a young team, being part of that top 12, that eventually make it to that HEP squad, that conference squad. But yeah.
Now, like for you, you've done a lot of running by yourself. It's not like you had a team of seven, some of our best teams in the state. A lot of the kids there, relatively talented. There's like four or five guys between, 16 low, 1650. You don't have that type of scenario, right? Where it's not where, you know, your number one guy is probably like a minute behind you, 2 minutes behind you, right? You're number two. How has the last 4 years shaped? Because you did touch upon it. You were kind of the big fish in the little pond. Your school wasn't, known for its cross country team. Wasn't like you had a JV and a freshman team that was uprising. Like you were the face of the program. And like you kind of alluded earlier, is that the reason why you went to Yale? How has the last 4 years of just kind of crushing miles by yourself, how has that shaped you to the student athlete that you are today?
Yeah, I mean, running alone for the last 4 years is definitely not fun. So I knew like that would be a huge difference coming in college, where I'm actually gonna have a team of an infrastructure like kind of not necessarily built around me, but built together, which was a lot different than last year. Like last year, we had 6 guys in the team total for cross country, and so I knew like it's gonna be a big change wherever I go. But I knew Yale, they had a young team. They only had graduated a couple seniors, but I knew like, hey, this is gonna be a cohesive group, and I felt like if I jump on this and then join them, then good things are gonna happen. So that's why I just said, hey, like let's make this step. Let's go to Yale. Let's see what I can do. Because I knew I wasn't gonna be running alone, and I knew they had a good group of freshmen coming in, and they had good numbers. And so I said, hey, like this is awesome. This is a big change from last year. That was the most important thing, just having a team that I can rely on and push myself with. And so I felt like that's gonna be at Yale. So I'm looking forward to it.
Um, I believe that, we have intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. And someone like you over the last 4 years, like it had to come intrinsic because there wasn't a team aspect. It's not like your six guys are going after the state title, so a lot of onus was upon you, that accountability, that responsibility. Like you were going into majority of the races as one of the number one seeds or the favorite. Has that been pressure for you, or did you kind of rise to that occasion?
I mean, yeah, part of it was rising to the occasion. Part of that is just being nervous all the time. Like even for dual meets, I'll have that, those butterflies in my stomach. But personally, I feel like those help me a lot. Not taking anything for granted, not taking any competition. Going into every meet, where I would feel myself being nervous. And that's just part of the racing. And I feel like I live for that part of it. The moment if you don't feel nervous is the moment you're not ready for a race. And so just being nervous every day helped me kind of rise to that occasion and help me, execute everything I needed to do. Like winning all states, I was a wreck before that race, just nervous and stuff like that, butterflies. But having that nervous energy, helped me. I feel like helped me be ready for all those big races.
Well, let's talk about that. So, as you know, as runners, we have the peaks and valleys. You have your highs and your lows. Was senior year was that the high, was that the low and the high, or can you share with us what was the highs in your high school career and what were your lows?
A low was definitely junior year after cross country. Cross country junior year, I finished second in all states, and I ran really well at Foot Lockers. But then I got injured for indoor season junior year, and then all of outdoor season I was out with another injury, and so that kind of led into the summer being injured as well. And beginning of senior year cross country, I was injured, so that was really really low for me. I wasn't talking to any coaches because I was hurt for 2 seasons, so that was really making me nervous. I felt like, what am I going to do? I contemplated doing a fifth year because I didn't know what was going to happen. I was kind of uncertain, and that was definitely a low. But then just being patient and being able to ride the wave back up and win all states, and that would kind of set the tone for indoors as well. I mean, I would have liked to win all states for 2 mile, but second place is the next best thing. Um, I'm sad that we can't have an outdoor season to get that revenge on them, but can't do much about it. But yeah, junior year, going into senior year, that was definitely a low, but luckily we came back and peaked for cross country season. So I'm happy with how it ended.
This weekend is Mother's Day. Can we share with us, the very first coaches in your life are mom and dad, but I want to give Mr. K a shout out. Shout out to Mr. K. But right now, can we highlight that amazing mom of yours? Can we give her, it's your platform. Let's give mom an early day mother shout out. How has mom been instrumental in your growth, period?
So I'm one of 10 kids. I'm the third oldest. So pretty much every day we got to make sure mom's treated rightly. But my first road race ever, my mom was pregnant with my younger brother, and I was 6 years old, and she said she wanted to run with me. And so that was day one. She was my number one coach. She was my training partner. And so just a huge shout out to her, just doing everything she did and helping me take the first steps really in my running career. Like, she was the first one to get me on the road while she was pregnant with my little brother. But that's the best memory I have for her, just helping me outright more than anyone else.
To Mama K. Wait, Sean, there's more of you guys?
Oh yeah, there's 6 more after me. Yeah.
Oh man. So we're not done with the K's yet. I assume some of them are going to be runners?
Oh yeah, I got a younger sister that was much better than I was at that age, so she's a big ticket.
Oh, really? What school is she
She's
in?
in 6th grade.
She's in 6th grade?
Yeah.
Okay, look out, ladies and gentlemen. I just got an inside scoop. I might be cheering on, what's her name?
Her name's Mariana.
Mariana. Okay, I'm making that a mental note. I'm only one of the first to know about this. I like this. I like it a lot. So mom, obviously, salute to Mrs. K, the very first coach. When you got to high school, how have your high school coaches been instrumental in your development? Did you hear me? Sean,
What's that? Sorry.
I said, how have the high school coaches been instrumental in your development? Your high school coach, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, they were huge. So my sister was a senior when I was a freshman, and so coming in, my sister kind of told them like what my training ethic was, like what I was gonna do, and so they kind of just helped me along. They kind of made that transition really seamless from 8th grade to freshman year, and then they just kept building. My coach was, he was worried because I was only 14, just turned 14, first day of high school, and so he knew I was really young, and so he was kind of patient with that mileage pickup and that training. And so by the time freshman year was over, that was really slow. I mean, that was a slow transition to it. But as we kept going through the years, he really helped me just put on the mileage, put on the training, helped me get, right with outside of running, kind of like that nutrition, that sleep, all that stuff, that schoolwork. And so he was great with balancing all of that. One of them works in the front office of my school, and so I see him every day. And every morning we go and we talk about what the day's plan is, what the week's plan is, what the goals are for the month, the season, as a team, also as an individual. So having him there every day was huge, and he helped me with not just running stuff, but also life stuff as well.
Yeah. Salute. What's his name? I don't even know their names.
Cross country coach was Jack Dempsey, and then track coach was Matthew Killion.
Oh, salute to Coach Dempsey, and you said Coach Killian?
Yep.
Yeah, those guys. Salute to those guys as well. Is there a high school highlight? Because you've had, some great victories, but is there one that stands out?
Have to be all states. Winning all states last year, that was the biggest thing. Just for myself, for my family, my coaches and stuff like that. For my school also. Finishing second last year left a bad taste in my mouth, or 2 years ago, and so I wanted to come back, and we did that ultimately. But that was definitely the highlight. Coming back from injury, then being able to win at Gardner, where I ran my first year at all states. I was second place after the mile, went out way too fast, and then ended up dying. And so coming back and finally, beating Gardner, that was the best feeling.
You hit it on the nails. Beating Gardner is not even the competition. That course is really, really tough. It's a challenging course. So, Sean, unfortunately, today, many people worldwide and nationwide, they'll be participating in running 2.23 miles for the young man who was murdered in Georgia, Ahmaud Arbery.
Mhm.
And I wanted to share with you is that hopefully you get out there, get some miles in. Um, that touched me. But I wanted to segue into why I believe it's important that we have this conversation because I know how hard you work, and you are like one of thousands of kids in the senior class of 2020 here in Massachusetts. I think the stats say there was over 5,000 kids that participated in track and field and cross country, and everyone deserves their just due. But I want to say thank you, Sean, because you led by example. Great interviews. You're always down to earth, very kind, very humble, very polite. And most important, I appreciate the competitor, and it was very good to see you overcome that adversity. Uh, I remember, I'm trying to think, it wasn't CMI. It was It was with me on Saturday. We was at Franklin Park. I was with my guys, and you were on a run.
Mm-hmm. He was New England's
Was it New England's?
for I believe it was for colleges.
Colleges in New England, and I was just, Franklin Park is next door to me, and I was just hanging out. And when I seen you go by, you had mentioned like, yeah, Coach H, I'm just getting back to it, and then to cover CMI and see that win, and then to see you, like I said earlier, on that straightaway in Gardner, you was just pushing. That was a thrilling moment for me. So I just want to say, thank you as a fan of the sport. Like, yeah. And Sean, I really believe that you have a really bright future. What will you be studying at Yale?
I think I'm going to try to double major in economics and political science if I can.
Okay, the scholar in Yale, definitely one of the best universities in the world. So you will get what you're seeking for, the challenge in the academic world, and you'll be challenged in the athletic arena. So yes, I could definitely see that being a good fit. Um, Other than that, Sean, I just want to say, yeah, man, you've been a staple mate. You've been an ambassador of our sport here. I have three challenges. One, I want you to continue to pay forward. There'll be obviously more Ks coming, but really, to a school like Arlington, I resonate with you guys because even though I was the head coach and the head coach of Boston Public Schools cross country, in my pool of potential runners are 14,000. I'm in the biggest district, but I also have the smallest program,
Mm-hmm.
period. So I can resonate with the Arlington Catholic program. Sometimes you need one to take it to the next level, and he or she will lead more kids to follow. So I believe that you are that one that more kids will be able to look back and be like, well, Sean did it. I can do it. So I think down the road, your resilience should be acknowledged because you've definitely opened up the door. Like you said, you kind of put Arlington Catholic on the map recently. So my second challenge is for you to continue to pay. My first challenge is to pay it forward. Continue to have that dialogue with your coaches. Check in with them while you were away because you were the face of the school, track and field, across country. Now there's a new face. We don't know who that kid is, a boy or girl. Someone's going to emerge, but they'll be following in the footsteps and the path that you blazed for them. Um, Second, I would say is that you know, celebrate that amazing mom of yours. I'm glad that you shared that story. Mother's Day is this weekend. So make sure, I don't know how good you can cook, but do something special for that special lady. She is the top coach. She deserves that. A salute to your parents for doing an amazing job. And third and finally, Sean, if you could do me a favor, and I know that you will, just keep in contact with us. Um, like I feel like I'm indebted to you guys because I've been doing announcing as long as you guys been competing. So this will be um, year 4 or 5 for Bay State with me doing announcing. So I got to grow with you guys. So please check in with us as we start to, move forward and we want to evolve. We want to start to cover collegiate meets. It's good to know that we'll have someone like you on the next level in the HEPs. So please check in with us because we want to follow and provide quality content of a special senior class of 2020. And you're definitely one of the leaders of this class. So Sean, I definitely want to give you a senior salute. You deserve all the props and more, but I also believe that you have also just started to scratch the surface of greatness because you haven't even got like a full year of training in. You were hurt last year around this, like you were hurt, right? So don't want to I don't want to use the term selfish, but let's look into the blessings of COVID. When COVID is done, you'll be even more healthier and you'll be able to get more quality training in. And I just think by the time you get to Yale, you're going to be an absolute monster. So those boys better look out if they're not ready because you're going to be more healthier. And I think that's going to produce even more talent. And you're going to, I think, like I said, you're just starting to scratch the surface of greatness. So I'm looking forward to see what the next 4 years or 5 years, depending on what happens for you in your career. And last but not, yeah, that was the last thing. But when I did an interview with Tim Ritchie a few days ago, he's the head coach of UMass Amherst. He's also a professional runner at Saucony. And Tim's interview really hit home. And I just want to spread the message to all kids. Like, Tim didn't break 5 minutes as a junior. Billy broke 10 minutes. He's a professional runner now, right? So, that 420 that you ran in indoors, we know that you're faster than that. That 2 miles faster than that. And we didn't get to showcase that. So I hope that doesn't be a hindrance. Still use the resilience, still use the focus that you've had and you've displayed in the past. And like I said, you're just scratching the surface of greatness. There's nothing but a bright future in front of you. Is there anything else that you want to share before we wrap this thing up, my man?
I just want to share one of my favorite memories with Coach H was after a dual meet, on Tuesday dual meet indoor season, I was going to do a workout on loan, but your guys came in and you guys hopped in with me. And that meant the world to me because there's nothing worse than trying to dodge people by yourself after track beats in Reggie Lewis. But having a group to do it with was the best thing ever. So I want to thank you for letting me hop in with you guys on that day.
Oh, well, you know what? No, thank you because unfortunately, indoor and outdoors, I don't work in the city this past year. It was the first time I was in an indoor-outdoor track coach. But those were my boys from the cross-country team. And, we needed one more tune-up before the divisional meet. And proud to say you helped my boys. They needed that because, when you understand when you're running by yourself, it's one thing, but when you have a speed workout and someone's either in front of you, behind you, it pushes you, and they needed that. And I'm happy to say all 3 of those boys PR'd, and all 3 of them are going to be taking their talents to the next level. So that just shows a testament of the type of quality individual you are. Here are you, the state champion, Division II, and you're like, hey man, let's do it. And when they see that first clip of the 200, they were like, okay, this is what a champion runs like. That's how you got to attack it. So they needed that mind frame. They really needed to get into that mind frame. Like, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be tough, but they can handle it. And there's so much that I can say as a coach, but sometimes it takes their peers, their counterparts to bring them through that. And you were the one that did it. So I appreciate you, man, 100%. So please do not be a stranger to us. Bay State Running, we'll be cheering for you as you take this new chapter in your life, this new endeavors. You've been a great champion. You are a true champion because champions also battle adversity. Some of the best have lost. I'm not comparing, but Tom Brady lost, came back and won, right? you know, and Muhammad Ali, some of the best boxer of all time. Some say the GOAT, but he lost. But he got back up and won. And I'm saying your loss could have been like those injuries and missing those moments of training. But you have showed to me the heart of the champion. Because that Gardner race, man, oh man, what a race. And yeah, once you got on the straightaway, it was over. It was done. Like no one could have made a move. There was no one closing in. It was a done deal. It was you in time. And I want to say I'm happy that I got to see that. I'm happy that I got to periodically check in with you over the past cross country season and see your growth to get where you are at. So thank you, Sean, for being the kid that you are, respectful, coachable, kind, genuine, and bright future, my man. Okay? Bright future. Other than that, peace. Make sure you have an amazing Mother's Day, amazing Father's Day in the future. Salute to the family. And man, there's more K's coming.
Got a lot more.
Oh my gosh. But I'm glad that I have the inside scoop. And for everyone else is it Catholic Conference Central?
Central Catholic League, yeah.
Yeah, Central. Ah, man, St. Mary's, Austin Prep. Guys, get ready. There's more K's coming.
Yeah.
Archbishop Williams, there are more K's coming. So, kids, let's get ready. Sean, it's always a pleasure. Peace, prosperity, and we'll see. This will not be the last conversation. We'll see each other soon, okay, man?
All right, thank you.
Always. Peace.